What's up, guys? This is Matt Singer from ScreenCrush.com, and today we're counting down the top 5 action movie one-liners. You know them, you love them, you quote them. The awesome puns and put-downs action heroes deliver right before, during, or after they knock off the big bad guy. Like when Dirty Harry says to the goons in Sudden Impact,
"Well, we're not just gonna let you walk out of here."
Who's we, sucker?
Smith and Wesson and me.
the one-liner has been a staple of action cinema for decades. And today on Top 5, we're picking the best of the best, starting with number 5, Live and Let Die. James Bond is the king of the ridiculous one-liner. Sean Connery practically invented the practice in his Bond movies.
Shocking.
And every 007 since has carried on the tradition. Over more than 20 movies in half a century, Bond's had some great one-liners, but our vote for the best comes from 1973's Live and Let Die, the first movie featuring Roger Moore as the dashing spy. In the film, Bond takes on a Caribbean prime minister who is also secretly a drug dealer funneling heroin to the United States. At the end of the movie, Bond and the prime minister, Dr. Kananga, have a big fight, which Bond wins by shoving a shark gun pellet into Kananga's mouth. And then he, well, see for yourself. That's right, he pops him like a balloon, because not even physics can beat James Bond. But it's all worth it for the one-liner that follows.
Where's Kananga?
Well, he always did have an inflated opinion of himself.
Smooth one, James. Glad you didn't blow that one. Would have hated to burst your bubble. I guess you could say this was a highlight of 1970s pop culture. And nope, never mind, I'm all out. Let's move on. On to number 4, Dark Angel, also known as I Come in Peace. Now, this is a bit of an obscure one. It's a 1990 Dolph Lundgren movie about a Houston cop who discovers, spoilers for a 25-year-old movie you haven't heard of and will never watch, a series of drug-related murders that are the work of an alien from outer space who is using humans to make a drug that's popular back on his home planet. The movie is nothing to write home about no matter what planet you're from, except for the one-liner Lundgren pulls out in his big showdown with his intergalactic nemesis.
I come in peace.
And you go in pieces.
All right, first of all, it's a great line. Second of all, it's the rare and beautiful one-liner that actually refers to the title of the film it appears in. That's just magical. It's just too bad that this movie wasn't a big enough hit to inspire a sequel, which obviously would have been called I Come in Peace 2, Go in Pieces. Oh well. Number 3, Lethal Weapon 2. Yes, the late 80s and early 90s were a golden age for cheesy but amazing one-liners. In this sequel to the defining buddy cop movie of its era, Mel Gibson's Martin Riggs and Danny Glover's Roger Murtaugh team up to take down some South African diplomats who are using diplomatic immunity to commit all kinds of crimes. Wait, come to think of it, it's basically the same exact plot as Live and Let Die. Weird. Anyway, because they're diplomats with diplomatic immunity, Riggs and Murtaugh can't do anything to stop them. This is basically the central conflict of the entire movie, which makes it so satisfying when Murtaugh busts out this classic one-liner at the end of the film.
Diplomatic immunity.
It's just been revoked.
Oh, what a fantastic line. I will never get too old for that. Number 2, John Carpenter's They Live. Though it was a flop on its initial release in 1988, John Carpenter's They Live has steadily grown in stature over the years. Today it's hailed as one of the great sci-fi films of the entire decade. And there's a few reasons it's become a major cult favorite. Its brilliant commentary on Reagan-era America and consumerism, and the epic fistfight between the late Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David. But perhaps the biggest reason people love They Live? Well, it's a single line. One of the finest one-liners ever committed to celluloid.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
The only reason this isn't number one on our list is because Piper's character Nada doesn't spend the entire movie slowly working his way through a pack of juicy fruit. Otherwise, it's pretty much perfect. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper. Wherever you are, I hope they never run out of bubblegum. Okay, time for the number one action movie one-liner of all time, and it comes from True Lies. Come on, you didn't think we were going to do a whole one-liners video without an Arnold Schwarzenegger in there, did you? A top 5 one-liners list with no Arnold Schwarzenegger? That's like a Terminator movie without Arnold Schwarzenegger. Totally worthless. What's that? You want me to rank the top 5 best Arnold one-liners too? You've got it, voice in my head who tells me to do stuff. Number 5, The Sixth Day.
You should clone yourself. Why's that? So you can go f yourself.
Number 4, Last Action Hero.
To be or not to be? Not to be.
Number 3, Total Recall.
Consider that a divorce.
Number 2, Commando.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
But the number 1 best Arnold one-liner comes from 1994's True Lies, which was written and directed by James Cameron, the same guy who gave us I'll Be Back and Hasta la Vista, baby. True Lies tops them all, though, with a verbal kiss-off Arnold's spy gives to the film's lead terrorist just before he finally gets him. For reasons too awesome to explain here, Schwarzenegger is flying a Harrier jet around a Miami skyscraper, and he manages to drop the terrorist, played by Art Malik, onto one of the jet's missiles, and then he says,
You're fired.
it's the best because he says, "You're fired," and then he actually fires the guy. And it's the best because he uses this one-liner on Art Malik, and then it also applies to that whole helicopter full of bad guys. I mean, that's just simple math. For Screen Crush, I'm Matt Singer. Thanks for watching, and for even more, make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.